Hey guys, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to talking about the encapsulation in the PHP. The wrapping up of the data into a single unit, which is called encapsulations in a PHP programming language. Just like that, you can see the many people get confused when someone asks them to explain it with some examples. This concept will come in your way every time when you go for interview. That what is the encapsulations, elaborate some of the examples to it, and when to use it. Here in this lecture, I will tell you about everything about the encapsulations, and you will be completely understand about the encapsulation, and you can crack your interview easily. As I just told you that wrapping some data in a single unit, which is called encapsulation. Encapsulation is used to save the data or informations in an object from other. It means that encapsulation is mainly used for protections purpose. If you see this in the technology era, it is essential to maintain your privacy. So for the security reasons, sometimes we make private methods. As you studied about, okay, the private methods means that it can be accessed within some classes and outside, but classes cannot access the private method of the other class. That's why the encapsulation is known as the data hiding concept, which is main advantages of the encapsulation. You can also call the encapsulation the data hiding concept just because of in encapsulation we have to hide our entire data from the other functionality, as you can see on your diagrams. The second advantages of the encapsulation is you can make the class read only and write only by providing setter and the getter method. I think so you are much familiar about the setter and the getter method already. Okay, so hiding the internal for the object protects its integrity by preventing users from setting the internal data of the components into an invalid or inconscious state. Now here, firstly, I'm just demonstrating some of the example on the encapsulation, and I will tell you about that what is the encapsulation, and after that I will tell you about that why we need encapsulations and how does encapsulations work. Okay, here you can see that let's suppose we have the class name which is, and the class name here is the human. Here this is a class of human. Okay, inside this class name I have to write the private data members where I have to write name, and the private here is the gender. Okay, then after that, creating these data member into the class, I have to write public. The public here is the function. Okay, now here I have to get the name. Okay, here you can see that I have to set the getter method to get these names and the genders values, because you can see here the data is hide in that stage right here. Just because of here these are the private data members. Now after that, here I have to return the values from, or I just get the return values from this keyword right here, where I have to get the name of that data type, which is name right here. Now here I have to write this is return right here, and the return will give me this keyword right here. Okay, now after that, here you can see that I have to create one other public functions right here, where I have to write function which is the get gender right here. Okay, this is the get gender, and this is here a gender. Okay, now after that, here you can see that I have to return, the return here is this, and here I will get the gender right here. Okay, and let's close this code right here. So gender here is my this variable, as you can see. Okay, now after that, here you can see that I'm just creating one other function where I have to write that this function is the public function, and then here I have to set gender, and here I will get the value of the variable gender right here. Okay, this is here I am just getting the values of the gender. Now here I have to write if. Let's suppose the gender here is the male and the female only. For that purpose, here you can see that I have to write that this gender here is the male, and if male is not equal to, I have to write that this is the gender, and here I have to write that female is the another gender right here, and here I have to write if female is also not equal to the gender right here. Okay, then I have to write that throw the exceptions to the new. So here I just write throw new exception, where here I just write that will simply set male or female right here for the gender. Okay, now here I'm just creating the exception as well, where this keyword is the public. Now here you can see that after this, here I have to write that this and this here will return the gender right here, and which is equal to, here I have to get the gender. Okay, now here I have to return this keyword. Okay, now here you will see that I am just creating here the user, and the user here which is equal to, firstly I have to create this, yes, human. Okay, human which is equal to, here I just write new human. Okay, and human is this class name. So I am just creating an object to it, which is human1, which is equal to the new human, and this is the object what I am creating right here. Now here you can see that I write human, and this is human number 1, which is equal to, or which is, here I have to write that is set name, and after that I have to write that this is the human number 1, and that will write get gender. Okay, now here you can see that this is just a variable right here what I am creating. So this is the object right here, and object which is equal to the new human. Okay, and the human is my class name, so I just create this class name for the human. Now here I am just providing the values right here, and the human value, let's suppose this is the name of the Bob right here, and the Bob here is the male. Hope so you understand now. Okay, now here I have to write this curly brackets right here. Here you can see that. So with the help of that, I have to get this data, which is the private data, and here you can see that in this data we use the encapsulation concept, and you can use encapsulation concept if the properties of an object are private, and the only way you have to update them through the public method. How? You can see here, this is the public method. You can see here where the name and the gender. Firstly, I have to get this name with the help of getName method right here, where I just get the name of that private data type. Okay, then here you can see that I have to get public get gender, and where I have to get the gender of this data type. Okay, now here you can see that I just write public function set gender, which is equal to gender, and we have the two types of gender right here, which is the male and the female only, and set male or the female for gender. So this is the exception right here. Okay, now after that you can see here I just write this keyword and get the gender and return this keyword right here. And after that, here you can see that I just create the object, and inside this object I have to set the name of this name here is the Bob, and the Bob gender here is the male. Here I have to run this. So you can see here in line number 33 we have called the undefined name human. Okay, fine. Here you can see that line number 33 I have to call this name, which is human right here. Okay, and this is, yes, okay, there is a problem where I just write this is a get name, and then here we have to set this as the get gender, and this is firstly I have to set this gender right here. Okay, firstly I will set the gender, and then that will get the gender of the male and the female right here. Hope so you understand now. Now here we have the set gender right here. So this is set gender right here, and this is get gender, and here I have to set the genders. This was a slightly confusion about that, so okay, it's fine now. And here we have to write this is a set gender, and I just close this right here. Now I am just trying to run it again. So line number 29 error right here, where just see in the line number 29 where I have to write that this will be this, and here I have to write gender, and then that will get the variable gender right here. Okay, now I just run it again. So here you can see that my code is working completely, but now give me the output right here. Let's just see how. This is just because of here you can see that I just write get name, but I just didn't provide any of the set name right here. So here you can see that I have to write this is public. Public here is a function, and the function here is I have to write this is the get name function right here. And then after that here you can see that I have to write return and this right here. Now here I have to get this, and here I have to write set name right here, and then here we will go to add return, and the return here, sorry, I didn't get the return values of it. So this is a function of the get name right here, and this will be the name of that. And here we have to write that this is a function's get name, and here we have to write this as the set name. Okay, now here we have to write this is set name function. Okay, now here you will see that I have to firstly write this as the function, and this is the get function right here. Okay, it's fine now. And here you can see that that is getting the name. Now I just remove this, and here I have to write that this is name is equal to name right here. Okay, it's fine now. So when I just run this code right now, so you can see here this is running completely, but not showing me the output right here. This is just because of in this program we assign the male and the female here is the set gender method, or that will print here the uncatch exceptions, which is you can see here that set male or the female for the gender only. You can see here I just provide the Bob and the male right here. So this is the example just for your understanding right here. Now here you will see that I'm just creating one of the another example on the encapsulation, and you will see that how I'm just getting the result from that. Okay, now just see. Here we have the PHP code. Okay, and then after that here I have to close this code right here. Now you just see that firstly I have to create a class. Class is anything. If you want to write the human, so simply write it human right here. If you want to write any of the things, so you can write any of the thing. I just create a real life example on that, so I just write the class here is bank. Okay, now here the bank here is I have to write this is a public, and the public right here is you can see here bank account, which is my variable right here. Okay, now here you can see that I have to write public, and the public here is bank balance. Okay, now here you can see that firstly we have the two data types where we have the bank, which is number one variable, and the balance is number two variable. Now here I have to create a function. So function here is I have to write that this is the functions of, let's suppose I am just creating this function name as the employee detail. So you can, sorry, firstly here I am just creating the function of construct. Okay, so here you can see that this is my function of construct, and here I have to pass the information of bank account, and the parameter of that function here is I have to write that this is bank balance. Okay, now here you will see that I have to write this is getting the employee sorry, this is getting the bank employee, and firstly I have to write that this is, yes, okay, like bank account, which is equal to, here I have to write that this is bank account. Okay, and then here you can see that I have to write this here is the bank balance, which is equal to, here I have to write that this is the bank balance right here. So create two variables right here. Now after that I have to write public, and the public here is the function, and the function here is I have to write that this is like bank underscore detail. This is one another function what I am just creating right here, and here I have to write that echo here is I have to write that bank detail name is, sorry, bank detail account is, and then here after that here I have to write this, and this here is I have to write that this is bank account. Okay, and here I have to write that bank balance is, and then here I have to write that this here is bank, sorry, this is the bank balance. Okay, you can see here I'm just getting these two IDs right here where we have the bank account and the bank balance here, okay, with the help of this bank detail function right here. Now after that here you can see that I have to write that obj1, which is equal to, here I have to write new, and the new here is the bank, where I have the bank is the class, and then here I have to write that bank account, it's, let's suppose our bank account here is 253698, and then we have the bank balance here is, let's suppose we have 56320. okay, this is my account, this is my balance here. Now here you will see that I have to write echo, and the echo here is I have to write obj, and where I have to write this is, let's suppose a bank, and bank underscore we have to write detail right here, and then close this code right here. So before starting this, before running this, so here I have to write that this is obj1, and now I just run this code. So here you can see that the bank account here is 25369, and the bank balance here is 5632. You can see here, firstly you can see I just create two publics data members where the bank account and the bank balance right here. These are the two variables. Now I'm just using the constructor right here, get the values of these, and here you can see that after that I have to create one other function of the bank detail right here where I just get the detail of the bank right here, and after that you can see here these are the values of that bank details right here. Okay, hope so you understand now that how we can get that. So now I will tell you that how encapsulation works. As we all know better that encapsulation is used to hide the detail from the user. To achieve this, we can create the object of the class, and the objects call the method, and the method performs their task with defined properties, as you can see here. So here you can see that this is example of the bank, and where we are, this bank is showing me the account and the balance here. Okay, there you can see that I just create a class of the bank right here, and after that you can see here these are the two data members. With the help of constructor I am getting these two data types right here, and then show the values of these two here in the next function, which is the bank detail, and get the values of that, and provide the values of that in the object right here. This is how the encapsulations work in a PHP programming language. The question here is why we need encapsulations. When we wrap up data into something, then it's hide detail from the users, that who use it. For example, when we create an object from the class, so we do not know that what has been written inside the constructor. Hope so you understand now that, or how it initializes the value of the member variable, and how the member functions we use through the object manipulates the value of the members variables, or that how it's generate the output. This is the main purpose of which we are using the encapsulation, so that's unnecessarily detail should be hide from the users who use the class. To achieve this, we often make the members private, or we made the member public or the protected, so that is cannot be accessed outside the class if someone want to access those variables. It should be through the getters and the setter method only. Here you can see that in our last example, where you see that I just make these two the private right here, and then here you haven't seen any of the values right here, just because of firstly we have to write the exception right here, and the second thing here is our two data members are the private data members. Hope so you understand now that how this encapsulation work in programming language. If you find any of the problem regarding to this lecture, please let me know. I will also make a separate article on that which will give you the completely knowledge about that as well. So if you find any of the problem, so please let me know, and thanks for watching this lecture.